A cat and Labrador sat on a train platform for 11 years, awaiting their owner's return. Their loyalty, a common trait among dogs, is exemplified by their unwavering commitment to making their owner happy. Cats, however, have a reputation for being less loyal compared to other animals. They are often perceived as aloof and only seeking their owner's attention when they have a specific need. This story disproves the notion that cats are not loyal. In a small town in America, a Labrador retriever named Lucky and a ginger cat named Frankie lived a fulfilling life together. Lucky and Frankie lived in a comfortable house in a peaceful and welcoming community with their owner Simon. They were the best of friends and spent much time together, defying the common belief that cats and dogs are natural adversaries. Lucky and Frankie had a strong bond, as the cat was saved from the streets as a young kitten and raised with the friendly dog. Their unique relationship was unbreakable due to the early bond formed. Simon frequently found Lucky and Frankie cuddled up together on the couch or basking in sunlight. When not napping, they were often causing playful mischief. A daily walk was one of the trio's favorite activities. It was uncommon to see a cat joining a man and his dog on a walk, but Simon and Lucky were happy to have Frankie join them to the park. Everything was perfect for the small family until an event occurred that would change everything. When Simon had been younger, before he adopted Lucky and Frankie, he had decided to enlist in the Army Reserves. The man had gone through his basic training and had been told that he wouldn't be needed unless he was called up. A few years passed and Simon had not been contacted by the Army, thinking nothing of it. He found himself a good-paying job and settled down with his two favorite animals. However, one year, not long after Frankie's second birthday, Simon received an unexpected call. He received a call from the Army, informing him that his duty as a soldier was required as a war had broken out and he needed to be deployed. Simon was heartbroken. He had built a life for himself and did not want to lose it. But more than that, he could not bear the thought of losing his pets. The man did not know how long he would be away for or if he would even return. Unfortunately, he also knew that he had no choice in the matter, as he had made a promise when he first joined the Army to help when he was needed. Seeing as there was nothing that he could do, Simon decided that he needed to arrange for someone to look after Lucky and Frankie whilst he was away. The heartbroken man ended up calling his best friend to ask him if he could look after the dog and the cat. The man agreed and promised to take good care of the animals while Simon was away. The day finally arrived for when Simon had to leave his old life behind and join the Army. He walked to the train station with Lucky and Frankie each on a leash. When he got to the station, he found his friend who was going to take care of his animals and bid him goodbye. The man then got down onto his knees and gave both the canine and the feline a big hug and lots of fuss. He promised them that he would return and they could all live happily together again. After one last hug goodbye, Simon stood up and boarded the train that would take him to the Army base. As the train began to speed up, Lucky and Frankie both tried to run after it. They did not understand what was happening and they simply wanted to be with their owner.
Also, if you've not done so already, please subscribe to our channel and click that notification bell to get inspired by these animal stories every day. Now, back to the story.
But the two animals were not able to venture far as they were being held by Simon's friend on their leashes. He took them back to his house, but soon realized that they were no longer their usual happy and playful selves. Instead, they simply laid about all day or sat at the front door as if waiting for Simon to return. The animals were clearly depressed without their owner, but the friend did not know what to do to help them. One day, as the friend was departing for work, Lucky and Frankie escaped through the open front door and sprinted down the street. The friend attempted to chase after them, but they were too quick. The animals appeared to have a destination in mind as they headed towards the train station. It was the last place that they had seen their loving owner, and they hoped that if they went there, they would find them again. Sadly, as the animals made their way to the platform that Simon had left from, they did not find their human. For a little while, both the cat and the dog ran around the train station trying to catch a glimpse of Simon. But after finding nothing, they returned to the platform. It was at this point that Simon's friend ran into the station. He arrived at the platform to find the animals waiting patiently near a bench. The friend initially attempted to separate the Labrador retriever and the cat, but they were unwilling to leave. Eventually, he managed to bring them home. But the next chance they got, they ran back to the train station again. This happened a few times before the friend decided that he couldn't keep the animals away. From that day forward, Simon's friend would go to the train station twice a day to drop off some food and water for Lucky and Frankie. This happened for 11 years. Throughout all of that time, neither Lucky nor Frankie tried to run away or move from their spot on the platform. Many people had tried to adopt the two creatures, but they would escape the homes every time and find their way back to the train station. One morning, on a particularly cold day, Frankie and Lucky were sitting near their bench when all of a sudden, a train pulled into the platform. Thinking nothing of it, the animals watched as a number of people exited the train, but it was one person in particular who caught their attention. The moment that Simon stepped off of the train, both the dog and the cat ran over to him in joy. Simon was amazed to see his old friends at the station. He never would have thought that they would be waiting for him. Simon instantly dropped to his knees and enveloped his dog and his cat in a big hug. It had been 11 long years and all three of them had gotten older, but the love that they shared for one another was still as strong as ever. After lavishing attention on Lucky and Frankie, Simon stood up and instructed them to follow him. It was time for them to return home. The dog and cat happily complied and followed Simon out of the station for the first time in 11 years. Once back home, Simon contacted his friend and inquired about the reason for his pets being at the train station. His friend then explained everything that had happened whilst he had been away, telling him that no matter what anyone tried, the dog and the cat simply would not move from the station without Simon. The man was shocked at his pet's loyalty. He never thought that they would wait for him for so long after discovering what they had done for him. Simon made sure to spoil both the Labrador Retriever and his Moggy with everything he had. Despite their advanced age, Simon wanted to ensure they were loved and well taken care of. As for Lucky and Frankie, they were overjoyed to be reunited with their beloved owner. What a heartwarming story! Please let me know your thoughts in the comments section below, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons for more stories.